Okay, and we're back for another Topics edition, season 2, episode 2. I'm your favorite host, Tone Taylor.
Time out. How? Why do you always start the show like this with your favorite? Who dubbed you the favorite?
Statistics show.
And you rule. We got a guest. You didn't even introduce the guest first. You want to jump in right in the favorite.
We will introduce the guest.
Yeah, you get on
This is the problem. Just you always want to just jump into your light skinness from the beginning.
Do this. How
from
do
the
you,
beginning.
What made you the favorite?
Who are you? Can you
Clearly
tell,
not the favorite here.
That has nothing to do with me. Catch yourself now. Listen. Who are you?
I don't know who I am since I'm not the favorite.
Listen. Your fans, you can be the favorite.
I'm Chris Harris, y'all. Nice to meet everybody who doesn't know me because I'm not the favorite, clearly.
And we have a special guest in the house, Brandon Harper, a.k.a. B-Dog. Nice to have you, brother.
What's going on, man? Y'all argue like a married couple, boy. Jeez.
Listen, from
nice
the
to
jump,
have you, sir. Appreciate
from
you,
the gate.
Don't mind him. He's special.
It's all good.
Don't mind me, right? It's all right. No problem. Yeah. I need my mic turned up a little bit, please.
Me too, please, sir.
But this is a very, very great second show. You know, I feel like great things about to happen. We're about to talk about some great debates. But let's jump into B-Dog. That's what they call you?
That's what they call me.
That's what they call you?
That's what they call me.
B-Dog. Tell the fans a little about yourself.
So, born in Atlanta, raised on the south side, Clayco.
Okay.
Currently live in Bougieville, which is Peachtree City down in Fayette County, which is golf cart central. Okay. You know, people ride golf carts around to take them to school and everything like that. It's real bougie. Yeah.
Bougie.
Bougie. But it's all good.
I want to be bougie.
But I'm far from bougie. We just live there. We just live there.
Who's going up like the Jeffersons? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, man.
It's all right.
Look, I still like my ramen. Still eat it from time to time, but nah, like I said, born in Atlanta, avid sports fan. I'm pretty sure we'll get to it later. Big Lakers fan, huge
Absolutely.
Lakers fan.
Damn.
I love it.
Oh, man, wait a minute now.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
That's all right, bro.
Feel good. Feel great about it.
Huge.
Surrounded by Laker fans now.
What time is it?
That makes your life better when you're surrounded by Laker fans.
Absolutely. You that?
That's a known fact.
Where?
Here.
Like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Being around Lakers fans make your life better. It kind of go hand in hand.
Ooh, check that out. Wake up. It's early, baby. It's early. Wake up.
We got a commercial?
Not even close.
Okay. Throw that out.
But no, I graduated from Fort Valley State University, which is, for people who don't know, that's an HBCU down there in the Macon area. Let's go. Oh, we got a Fort Valley grad in here. That's what's up, baby. That's what's up. After that, I took a year off just to work. Graduated in 2012, fall of 12.
Okay.
Took a year off to work. Then 14, I went into broadcasting school at Complete Game Broadcasting.
Okay.
Finished that in about 3 months or so. That's when I got put in contact with the people at 680. Interned there for a year. They love me there. They hired me. I've been there ever since the beginning of 2015.
Love.
Yep.
Great. I love that story.
So what is your position?
So
Duties, will we say, at 680?
I'm what you call a remote technician, which is also a producer. It's more so like an on-site producer. So whenever you see, when you go out to bars and you see shows doing remote broadcasts from there, I'm the one that sets that up and keeps them on air. So you can't hear them if it's not me doing my job and making sure that they go to break on time, they come back in time, just keeping the show smooth and on pace so you have a clean listen either through the app or in your car or at home. So I control all that. I communicate with the board op back at the station.
Okay, that's what's up. Sounds very interesting.
So,
I know some people that might be interested in that as well. But what made you get into radio and sports broadcasting?
So radio, when I was in college, TV was at the forefront. Everything that I did was TV, and TV is still sort of kind of my first love.
Okay.
Radio was something that I picked up on when I went to broadcasting school. It was the first time I ever dealt with anything in radio. Never thought I'd do anything in radio. Picked it up, kind of liked it, and my first opportunity just happened to be at a radio station. I didn't care which one it was. I love sports. It was at a sports radio station. I got to talk sports. I got to debate with people about sports. I got to be around people who I looked up to. So I took the opportunity. So now I'm pretty savvy in the radio field, still growing, but eventually down the line, I want to get back into TV. You know, I want to be able to do both radio and TV.
Amazing.
Yeah, makes you more marketable.
Absolutely. And, you know, able to do both sides of the coin. Just a quick little insight, you know, when I first moved down here as well, if nobody knows this, but the reason why B-Dog is on the show today is because when I came down here, I also, you know, wanted to get back into sports, you know, just finished playing ball. So I went back to school for sports broadcast. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting out here, and I was done in about 3 months as well, 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And I got an internship at 680. And that's where I met B-Dog. I actually sat in with the Big Shot. What is it?
The Big Podcast.
The Big Podcast with Shaq.
Yeah.
That's where we met. So I tried to keep in touch. You know, every now and then. And when I started the show, I had to reach out to you. So I appreciate you being on the show.
No, I appreciate it.
You know?
I thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm mad.
He's still mad that the Lakers fans.
Why the hell are you a Lakers fan and you from Georgia?
Well, let me tell you this. That's a good question. I have a lot of family that's from California.
Okay.
And every time I would go over to their house, even when I was younger, it used to be Lakers this, Lakers this. And I was always, my favorite player is Kobe Bryant. Even when Kobe coming out of high school, out of Lower Marion in Philadelphia.
I'm going home. There's no need for me to be.
Sit and embrace this.
Why do I gotta suffer?
You don't have to. This is pure.
Nah, bro,
we're
we're not gonna make you suffer.
This is greatness. Thank you. Have a seat, sir. This show is nothing without you.
Say Kobe one more time. I'm going home.
Mr. Bryant,
we won't say that.
Kobe one more time. I'm going home.
Okay, we won't say that. We'll just say
Kobe
the Black
Bryant.
Mamba. We'll just call him. We'll call him.
I love this.
We'll call him the Black Mamba. But always been a fan of the Black Mamba.
I got it. Don't worry. I got it. I got it. Don't worry.
Ever since he came into the league, I can remember when he airballed his first shot, and Shaq took him by the shoulder and said, "You gonna make these guys pay in this league." And since then, he had been making people pay at every single turn, every single drive to the basket, making them pay.
Now that I don't disagree with.
You can't disagree with that.
So I just, even through the ups, and some people, you know, they bandwagon, they hop on at the time. Hey, you know, three in a row. You know, I'm a Lakers fan. No. You weren't with us when we had Smush Parker.
Oh.
You weren't with us when we had Kwame Brown. You weren't with us when the Lakers were up 3-1 versus the Suns and we lost 3 straight.
Oh, goodness.
So, but you've been a Lakers fan since like Elgin Baylor. Like that's who you grew up watching, right?
That's how you feel it? Oh, so now I'm just that old, right? I'm just that old?
Asking a question.
Nah, no, sir. No, not at all. I didn't see Elgin Baylor play.
I don't remember what started for you.
Oh, okay.
As a Laker fan.
I did not see.
I thought when we spoke about this before, I thought, you saw Elgin Baylor for the first
96,
time.
96.
Oh,
96.
66. My bad.
Yeah, you're bad.
My bad.
96.
You're a little salty over here.
He is.
So it was a question. This was not
salty.
a question. It was not a. It was just a question. It was just a question. So you like all LA franchises or?
No, it's just the Lakers, and then the Rams happen to move back to LA.
Okay.
The story about, I know that question's coming next about the Rams. My favorite player also is Marshall Faulk.
Got you. All right. So
I am a Marshall Faulk fan. Ever since I saw Marshall, I didn't watch him coming out of San Diego State. I really wasn't. I was born in 1990, so I wasn't. You know, at 2 years old, who's really saying, yeah, that's my favorite player, trying to walk. But seeing how he revolutionized the running back position, and my father used to always talk about a guy by the name of Roger Craig, used to be running back for the 49ers, how those two guys revolutionized the running back position where you had to then be able to catch the ball out of the backfield as a running back. And now you see this evolution of wave of just running backs, Le'Veon, David Johnson, Ty Gurley, who now know how to catch the football. Kareem Hunt, those guys. Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig were the forefront of that. And to see him revolutionize that position the way he did, I kind of fell in love with that. So he was a Ram at that time. So, and I've been a Ram fan since 96, 97.
Greatest show on turf.
Yep, right before they started the Greatest Show on Turf. Right before.
So being that you're a Laker fan.
Don't say it with such. Come on, you gotta have a little more energy when you
Please
say
do.
that, man.
Why do I have to do what y'all tell me?
Because
we're
when
a
you speak
franchise
about
full
that,
of
when you
energy.
speak about that, listen. When you speak about the Lakers, it should make you smile. Just greatness. Because that's greatness when you speak about the Lakers. But let me not cut you off. Okay? Ask the great question that you want to ask, right?
You want me to say it with energy?
Yes.
Yeah, I want you to say it with a smile on your face.
This is killing him.
When are you going on?
Hey man, I'm with y'all for 2 hours.
That's
baby.
what I'm talking about.
Let's rock and roll.
With a smile on my face. Being that you're a Laker fan.
Yeah, talk
right?
to me. Okay.
And a Kobe Bryant fan, and we had this debate all the time.
Okay.
Right? So being that you're a Kobe fan, what is your thoughts on LeBron James as a being that you're a Kobe fan? Because it's kind of like we spoke about this last week.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't really like both. It's just always been if you
That's
like
what
Tom
they say.
Brady.
That's what they say.
If you like Tom Brady, you can't like Peyton Manning in a sense, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, you know. And then I guess in that same context, if you liked Larry, you couldn't like Magic.
Okay.
If you like the Bad Boys, you couldn't like Mike, almost
Okay.
in a sense. So do you feel the same way about LeBron James, being that you're a Kobe Bryant fan? Were you not really a LeBron James fan, really?
No, I don't feel the same way as most Lakers fans or Kobe fans. I like LeBron. Contrary to popular belief, there are actually Laker fans and Kobe fans out there that do like and respect LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there may be a couple of times in finals where I didn't necessarily pick him to win it, but it had
only
nothing
one.
to do with him
being a
as
fan,
as a
player.
player.
It was-
I understand his greatness. I've seen what he has done. You know, Kobe has put on his shows in Madison Square. I've seen LeBron put on a show in Madison Square.
Absolutely.
You know, I have no animosity towards LeBron. When they painted the murals out in L.A., you had people vandalizing.
Yeah, that was-
I didn't understand it. There's nothing anybody can do to taint the legacy of Kobe Bryant. That's signed, that's sealed, that's delivered.
Absolutely.
So all these bitter fans, like Kobe said, Laker fans have to get in line. Kobe fans have to get in line. I understand that you love Kobe, but that doesn't mean you have to hate LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And them painting murals and doing all this and all, you don't have to destroy. It was a nice looking mural that they painted.
It was.
Loved it.
Defamed it.
But come on, man.
That was hard.
Stop. This man is here to help us get out of the funk that we've been in for the last 5 seasons. And we've been in a funk for the last 5 seasons.
You ain't never lie.
That's too long for Lakers. That's 5 years too long for Lakers fans.
Way too long.
So if we have a guy who's the best player in the league who can come in and wants to help, and it's shown that he can take teams from the ashes and rise like the Phoenix, come on.
So you're happy that he's a Laker?
I am. Kobe's still my guy. Nothing will ever change that, but I am happy that LeBron James is a Laker.
You happy that LeBron is a Laker?
We had this conversation last week.
I don't remember.
You do. We had this conversation. As much as I want to, I go back and forth
Refresh
about
me,
this
please.
LeBron. I said I have no problem with him being a
Are
Laker.
you happy? That's not the question.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Are
and
you
I can't
happy?
wait. And I can't wait for us to be top 4 in the West.
Oh, I don't know if y'all gonna be top 4 this year.
Why not?
Where do you see them being in the West? You see them being in the top 4 team? I just like OKC's team a little bit better on paper. That's just my opinion.
It could possibly happen. Go
Well,
ahead.
see, this is the thing about OKC, and they just reported this today.
Oh,
Russell is
Westbrook.
not going to start to see. He may not be back for until a couple of months after the season started because if he got the scope in his knee. So
They
I
said
don't.
he's gonna miss the first few games. That was what the ticker said. That is a good point. So I guess that is determined on. We'll see
Right.
how well they do starting out. But I just think, like I said this last week with LeBron, not to cut you off, I do apologize.
No, you good.
I feel like a lot of guys are just, especially the young guys, the Brandon Ingrams, the Kyle Kuzma, the Lonzo Balls, who were at one point, whether even though you're in the league with these guys now, you are now in admiration. At some point, you're still in. I'm pretty sure if you're on the court the first time you played against the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're like, yo, I'm really matched up with LeBron James. At some point, the fan has to come out of you, or the appreciation. And I feel like going from that to now feeling some kind of pressure to be worthy in his eyes in order to play almost like that Kobe. You got I got to see that you're able to be here on this team. I think that's going to take him. It's going to take him a little while to find out what they do well.
Well, that's why he signed a 4-year deal.
Because he knows it's not going to be overnight.
Right. As you've seen over the last few years, anytime LeBron has always done a 1-and-1 deal where he has a 1-year deal, then the option for the next. And he did that because he absolutely could not stand Dan Gilbert.
Absolutely.
He hated Dan Gilbert. He hates him to this day. But he realized the admiration that he has for Magic Johnson as a visionary. I remember, I think I heard Magic say when he went to LeBron's house, they sat down for hours and talked. The respect that both of those men have for one another and their games. To be honest, most people say LeBron's game resembles more of Magic's than Michael's.
Anybody else's? I completely agree with you.
So, we have this LeBron-Michael debate.
He's a more athletic Magic.
Right. Because in his mindset.
Way more athletic.
Way more athletic Magic. Way more athletic. And Magic can tell you that too. Magic is great, but Magic ain't dumb.
Absolutely.
Magic can tell you. But their games, it's like looking in the mirror. And so they have that level of respect for one another that a lot of guys in the league may not necessarily have because of their games. They're so similar. And then on the business standpoint, Magic is a businessman.
Absolutely.
LeBron is a businessman.
Absolutely.
So on so many fronts you can relate. And that's why that relationship is so great.
That's amazing. That definitely makes big points. Staying on top of with the Lakers, just quick before we go to commercial, we spoke about you being on the Shaq podcast. Mm-hmm. How is it working with Shaq?
It's great. Mm-hmm. He is funny because he is silly, but he is a sharp mind, and he has it's hard to describe.
Okay.
To be in a room with him, let me tell you, it means so much to me on numerous fronts, not just as a basketball fan and a sports fan, but when you're a Laker fan and you get to sit in a room with him once a week, knowing that you're sitting with the most dominant force in NBA history. One.
Absolutely.
Number two, you're sitting in a room with half of the greatest duo I believe to ever play. No disrespect to Michael and Pippen, but Kobe and Shaq.
Like
no other.
Kobe and Shaq.
I'm not picking two over them. If I had to play 2-on-2 in the park,
absolutely not.
It is what it is. Good morning, good day, good night. It is what it is. So to be able to sit there and talk to him, to be able to pick his brain, to be able to hear some of the stories that he shared, to be able to pick his brain business-wise, because he's always in something.
He owns like 12 Chipotles, 20 car washes, a few restaurants.
Owns 17 Five Guys. He owns, I think, 14 gyms.
Like 24/7 fitness gyms, like 24-hour fitness gyms. I read that like 2-3 years ago.
And he owns the Krispy Kreme on Ponce in the city.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's
very business.
But right. And
small business, they kind of run themselves at a standpoint where you don't always have to be like every day checking in. You got people that kind of push the envelope for you. That kind of this stuff gonna run itself. Like if I got one gym, stay open. Make sure that y'all not taking no money from me. Make sure it's clean and the equipment is up to date.
That's the goal.
And that's another thing. He's not a micromanager. He says, look, I open these things. I put the money up. I open these things, but I hire people who I know can run this business and can make sure that they uphold it and do what they need to do.
Shaq
and I back off.
A doctorate, am I not?
He does have a doctorate. He is Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
See, the goal, that's the major goal, to make money when you sleep.
Yes.
He makes money with his eyes closed.
Yes.
That's the major goal.
But one thing that he loves to do, and he does it mostly in the summer because when he has his time off, so around this time of the year, he is a DJ.
I seen that. He was in Miami.
Yeah.
And he was doing that festival thing.
He ain't no celebrity who just kind of like picked this up as a hobby. He a real DJ. DJ Diesel, that's his name. He was in the Bahamas. I saw some clips, and I don't know how many people were there. He was in China, and you know how they feel about the athletes over there.
Yes.
It had to be more than 40, 50,000 people out there to see him rock the crowd.
Wow.
In China. It's no joke when he goes to do his gigs, his DJ gigs. It's no joke. People go to see him. Some serious business.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why you got that look on your face?
I feel bad for you.
What's that?
You got to sit here and do 2 hours with him.
Hey man, look, man.
Wait. Hold on.
That's my fellow Laker man right here.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
The problem is we have to sit here with you moping because we talking. No, you have to sit. No, we're gonna bring this greatness out of you.
Hold on. Well, I didn't get one thing. If you hate, who are you a fan of?
Who, me?
Tell me, you're a
NBA
Knicks fan.
team? Yeah, I'm a Knicks fan, of course.
You're a Knicks fan, okay.
So I mean, I don't listen. I'm a realist at the end of the day. There were certain things you said about Kobe Bryant and Lakers organization I did not disagree with.
Right.
I'm still a realist. I'm still a basketball guy.
I respect that.
But yeah, I just double the trouble. I got to deal with him 5 days out of the week.
And it's taxing on you because your team sucks and you just got to hear about greatness. But we got to take a quick break. When we come back from commercial, we have more topics here on IBNX Radio.
The Knicks and the Lakers, neither one made the playoffs. But all right, go to commercial.
Each and every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. JC Squared on the Air Show. Jason J-Boy Kerry. JC Squared on the Air. The Reason. Good music. Celebrity birthday. The Daily segment. And Today in Hip Hop. IBNX Radio and the JC on the Air Show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something.
This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man.
This your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Welcome back. You are now tuned into Topics here on IBNX Radio. We have our guest for the evening, my man B-Dog out of 680 The Fan.
Yes, sir.
If you're just now tuned in, he's going to join us for the rest of the show. So now we're going to actually get into topics. Got the interview process out the way. I forgive him for being a Laker fan.
We forgive you for being a Knicks fan. What are you talking about?
Remember where you want me to buy you a pair of Chuck Taylors? Don't forget where you come from.
All right, I'm not a Knicks fan.
My Jesus. Jumping into our picks of the week
Absolutely.
from last week that I think I won.
You think. That's the problem. If
Okay,
you think.
I think I
when you
won.
think long, you think wrong.
Okay. Well, first game on the docket. Defending champion, Super Bowl champion. Eagles defeated the Falcons, who I think you picked.
I picked the Falcons.
Okay.
To win this game.
So that's 1-0 me.
Absolutely.
18-12.
Absolutely.
So me faking long and hard is actually working for me at this point.
I don't really think you thought too much. That's why you picked the Eagles.
Okay,
But
cool. And I won.
What are your thoughts on that game?
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
That was just like last season in the divisional game, it was a defensive battle.
Absolutely.
The thing, see, this is my problem with the Falcons, and we thought they were going to fix it this offseason. Coming in and we're going to fix the red zone woes and we're going to fix the red zone issues, and we saw it plague them again Thursday night. They just cannot find a way to punch the ball into the end zone.
I'm looking right at my notes. Red zone, red zone, red zone.
I don't understand what it is. And my thing is, people complain about Matt Ryan, his ability to throw the back shoulder pass to Julio or get the ball to Julio in the red zone, which I don't understand either. You got pretty much the physically the best receiver in football. He's 6'3", 230 on a bad day. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. Now Julio did go off.
Absolutely.
He did go off. If it was either Julio or bust that game, because no one else did anything.
No one.
But you got to find a way to get the ball to Julio in the red zone. That's a problem. That's a problem that should not exist, and it does. So I don't know how they're going to fix it, but they need to fix it.
What do you think? Since you picked the Eagles.
I picked them too.
You picked the Eagles too?
I did too, just for that game. I felt as though they can't beat the Eagles in Philadelphia. I don't know. Now, if it was at the Benz, maybe so. Mm-hmm. But home field advantage in football.
Just that.
Yeah.
Well, I felt the reason I picked the Falcons
Because the Eagles were banged up.
They were banged up. They were missing vital pieces. Mainly their quarterback, but they had Foles. But Foles wasn't playing good the whole preseason.
Right.
They missing their number one receiver,
right,
Alshon Jeffrey. So I felt,
the advantage Falcons. I get it.
And offensively, they were anemic too.
Absolutely.
I mean, the game was kind of boring.
It was
the game was. It wasn't your Thursday night opening night. yes, football is back. Start the season off with a bang. Kind of game.
I wouldn't totally. It was a defensive-minded game,
Okay.
you know.
I don't watch.
But let me ask you, were you expecting a 35-30 game?
No, but I did expect, maybe two. I expected big games, like individual big games that I didn't get. Like I expected like a Julio Jones 2-touchdown, 180-yard game. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was hoping for. Or Nick Foles 265 or 300 passing yards.
I didn't see that all preseason.
And but 3 touchdowns. I was looking for something like that. Like individually, maybe guys getting some big games, like 1 or 2 guys having big games, and I just didn't get it.
But Nick Foles, he had a heck of a run last season. He had a heck of a run last postseason, and everything kind of worked out perfectly. But Nick Foles, we've always known him as the backup quarterback.
But I think that's why I expected Nick Foles to kind of come out guns blazing and kind of let it go, just because I feel like he's auditioning. Like, I don't see him being, I don't know what his contract is, but I don't see him being.
Has one more year.
Has one more year. I see him trying to get out of that and
Meaning this
auditioning. I
this
feel like he's auditioning to be a starter somewhere else.
Okay.
So being that, all right, people saw the playoff run and you did great in the playoff run, but how do you look week 1 through week, whatever you're going to start?
Right.
I don't think he will be a starter next season, not to cut you off. Sorry. I don't think he'll be starting next season. Anywhere.
I mean, that's your opinion, but, I like me and you, we argue about this all the time. Like your boy Jimmy G, he deserved all that money.
Did he?
You saw what happened when you paid him all that money, right?
But see, this is the thing.
What happened?
Don't make me reach over.
You gotta think about the quarterback market. And we look at like what was that Monday night when it was the the Jets and the Lions. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford stunk up the joint. Matthew Stafford is the 3rd highest paid quarterback in football.
It's the market now.
It's the market. Because you got to ask yourself, when it's time to pay your quarterback, okay, I'm going to sit down with his agent. The GM is going to sit down, president or whoever. Okay, do we want to pay him what the market says? Or do we want to go back to the draft and start over? And that's what it was with the Lions. Matthew Stafford is a B quarterback. He's a good quarterback with a laser arm. Do we want him to be a part of our future, or do we want to start over?
And they didn't want to start over.
And the Lions,
I get that part, but my whole thing with Jimmy G was you don't pay a guy that play 7 games.
True.
That was my thing. That was just my gripe. Not that he can't throw the football, not that he's any good.
Right.
Never said those things. Just you're not paying him that much money.
Right.
Somebody who played 7 games.
But if they weren't, then somebody else was going to.
And then you'll have to
And I'm not
start
saying
over.
that he deserves it, and I agree after 7 games. But it's the market, and you got to use, as a quarterback, you use that market to your advantage.
The world we live in.
Absolutely.
1-zip me, right?
I'm glad you could count. Jaguars defeat my Giants.
I can definitely count. 2-zip me.
20-15.
Game I expected. That game I expected.
You expected that?
The way that game played out, I expected. Go ahead.
So now you're just a visionary.
Not a visionary, just the caliber of the game I expected. I mean, I'm excited for the Giants. I'm excited for the Giants.
And I'm glad you said that, just to touch on that, because I took away from this game, I was excited watching this game, after the game, because we're going against the top, if not one of the top defenses in the league. Front line, secondary, point blank, period. Hands down. And I wasn't scared of Blake Bortles, like I said last week. I was never I said it will fall down between, it was going to be a defensive battle, which defense to score. And the defense that scored was the Jaguars. Now, what bothers me about this is we moved Flowers, because I told you, my main thing, I was so happy. Everybody talking about the addition of, Saquon Barkley and us getting Odell back. Very good. But my main thing was us having Nate Soldier at that left tackle that we got from the Patriots. Yep. To shore up that left. We had the worst left tackle for the last 6 years. Flowers. So we moved Flowers from left tackle to right tackle. And where did that pick come from? Flowers let his man bull rush, get his hand up, tipped the ball, interception, pick 6. Where can we move this man? Next thing, no, honestly, the next place we can move him is to send him home. He's going to be a 350-pound, whatever. He's not a football player. I don't know what he is. Useless.
It's not fair to just blame a pick 6 on the best defense in the NFL, arguably, on one person.
Why not?
Well, if they're gonna move you from left tackle to right tackle, all you're doing there is, it's like they're saying, okay, well maybe he doesn't work out at left tackle and moving to right tackle, but all you're doing is moving your problem from one end to the other. So what no longer is happening on the left side is now going to happen on the right side.
But the thing is, you were not to cut you off. Sorry, the left side. Anybody knows with a right-handed quarterback, that's your blind side.
Right.
So we was getting rushed and everything. Manning was taking 2-step drops and they were in the backfield already. Now he can see the rush, but you still can't contain it. But you're right. We're moving it from one side, one problem to the other. So I get that. I understand that.
And look, man, you're going to, like you said, on every level of that defense, Pro Bowl caliber players. There's at least 2 Pro Bowlers on each level of that Jaguar
defense.
They
had 6 or 7 go to the Pro Bowl.
They had the most last season, I think. Yeah. That defense is something nasty.
And then you got there's a window, I feel, for cornerbacks in terms of being that premier cornerback. You've seen a 3-year window with maybe Darrelle Revis. Then you see kind of Richard Sherman. And that after Darrelle Revis, you saw, what was that? Nnamdi Asomugha had a 2-year window. He's home. I think he's pumping gas somewhere. I don't know where he is.
No, I think it's more I think Revis he had more than 3 years. Yeah. Revis Island probably lasted 3 years.
That's what I mean.
But
talking about top notch Revis.
We talking about in the hands down number one best cornerback. And you had Richard Sherman for his run with the Seahawks. Then you see Josh Norman. Then you seen Josh Norman kind of get the 2 years that he got, and now you got Jalen Ramsey.
Well, don't forget about Pat Peterson.
Pat Peterson, but Cardinals. I don't think people ever dubbed Pat Peterson as.
It was a committee. It was either him or
Sherman. I feel like people gave Sherman the edge over Patrick Peterson, and I still think Patrick Peterson is still top 3 corners in the NFL.
Yeah. When
Peterson didn't move with you though, he didn't move with the top receiver.
Did he not?
You think so?
Yeah. I remember being in the game. I think it was a couple of years ago, and they came here to the Dome. It was still a Dome then, and he went up against Julio.
You gave Julio everything he handled, probably.
Nah, Julio gave him everything he had. I think at the half, I can't remember the numbers specifically, but let's just say when they went in to the tunnel for halftime, Pat Peterson took his helmet and threw it on the ground and walked off and walked to the tunnel. That's how bad the half he was having against. He followed Julio the whole time and was getting torched each and every. Now it happens to all cornerbacks.
That's why.
Because
Ramsey got torched.
It was bad. It's bad, but it happens. You can't be. Even Deion got burned sometimes.
Sometimes.
Very seldomly.
Sometimes.
Very seldom.
Everybody can't be prime.
Everybody cannot. That doesn't happen a lot.
Very seldomly. But I'm excited for you guys.
I am too.
I just wonder, and I think Saquon is going to be very good. Mm-hmm. I just wonder, and it depends on how long Eli Manning can hold up. I just hope that you all never hit a point where it's kind of like, oh, maybe we should have taken Sam Darnold. Maybe we should have taken the quarterback. Because I understand that Saquon is a dynamic back. Mm-hmm. I get it. But we all know the shelf life of some running backs. And
5 years.
Yeah, and a running back, as dynamic of talents as they are, you can find you a running back, especially late in the draft.
Le'Veon was fifth round or something like that. Mm-hmm.
But quarterbacks just don't grow on trees.
At all.
See, the Browns been through 100 of them.
You have to have a franchise quarterback, unless you, and we spoke about this maybe 2 weeks ago, unless you have that, and that only happened once or twice, unless you have that amazing defense, which.
But you can't name.
That's what we said. We only named.
You can't really name any defenses. Like we talked about it. You can't really name any teams that's won solely on their defense with a C or B- quarterback. Like the first team that stuck out to me, and haven't been watching football for as long as other football fans have been watching football. I was strictly basketball guy. Like, we can talk about basketball you want. First team that stuck out to me was that 2000 Ravens team with Trent Dilfer as the quarterback.
And Trent Dilfer will tell you.
And that was a boring Super Bowl. What was the score? Like 6-3 or some nonsense like that? It was a very low scoring game.
Right.
So I agree with the whole you need that quarterback kind of thing. And speaking of Sam Darnold, thank you. I can kind of be happy that my Jets. I like all the bad teams except for the Yankees, as you can tell. We have one of the best records in football. I haven't said that in a long time. I can honestly say that. Neither one of you guys take that away from me, please. But the Jets have one of the best records in football.
1-0.
I'm
They
not
undefeated.
Take it away from it. And it's not even the fact. What I'm impressed with. It's not even the fact that the Jets won.
It was how they won.
How they won.
I don't really like it because we did play the Lions.
They suck.
Hey, look, man.
But you can't control who you can't play.
They still suck.
They in the NFL too. And look, the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings got to play them. They're not gonna take those wins away from them. So don't you know? You got look.
We're not gonna take no wins away because we definitely gonna congratulate the Jets.
Yeah.
Please.
Flying high right now.
Because we ain't going to be flying high that long.
Listen,
You got to win the games you're supposed to win. So
it is what it is.
handle your business.
Oh, and you know who almost did it last year though? They was maybe one quarter away from doing it with the C
Jaguars.
quarterback. It's the Jaguars.
This is my thing about Jacksonville and the quarterback situation. I can't stand Blake Bortles. I felt when Kirk Cousins, when he was going through his little free agent
He should have went to Jacksonville?
Should have went to Jacksonville. I felt as though, and now I'm not saying that he did a bad thing by going to Minnesota because they have a heck of a defense too.
Absolutely.
So I'm not mad at that.
And I think you got one of the hottest wide receivers now in the NFL. One of the hottest wide receivers.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, yes. They have two, and Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen as well. But I'm a huge Stephon Diggs fan.
Yeah.
But that's why I think he went there. His receiving core
It's a little better.
is better than
Yeah, it's better.
True.
Jaguars.
I just felt as though Jacksonville was just one piece away, and that was at the quarterback. You ain't even he didn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have to be Tom Brady. He didn't have to be Russell Wilson. They just needed a good quarterback.
Even Alex Smith.
You can honestly say that for the Vikings too.
True.
With Keenum.
Same situation. Yeah, and obviously he
They
chose
was right
them.
there.
Right.
Mhm.
But I said, Jacksonville, you gotta go.
Would have been
Kirk
good.
Cousins. You gotta go.
Definitely
get
would have
him.
been a nice
Yeah.
little spot. I didn't even think about that. Panthers defeat the Cowboys. Cowgirls.
We tied on that
16-8.
one. Congratulations. You got one right. You got one right. What you said.
You know what? I didn't even.
What?
I knew what I was looking at. I knew what the Panthers were bringing. But what's wrong with the Cowboys' offense? Do y'all think they're a playoff team? I just want to hear you.
No.
Okay. Just flat out no.
No. One, they have the 3 or 4 highest rated offensive linemen in all of football. How
It's
many
not
of
the
those?
same lineman no more.
How many of those
Okay.
guys are out?
3.
Okay, so you got Tyron Smith, who is the left tackle, the best left tackle in football. He's there. But you got Zach Martin, and I think it's Travis Frederick, both out. So your bread and butter, which is the running game, and Zeke Elliott, who prides himself, whose running game was the best a couple of years ago because they have the best offensive line. It don't look like it anymore. It's only one game, but versus that Panthers front seven on Sunday, he didn't look good
At all.
Now, give kudos to the Panthers. That front seven is
Real.
is real.
Absolutely.
Now they have an injury scare with Luke Kuechly that they have to look at, but my goodness,
He had 13 tackles.
Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly was, he's all over the field.
He's a headhunter.
yeah,
He's a helmet hunter.
Beast.
reckless abandon. He has no concern for his body
At all.
at all.
At all.
Every play, he's in every frame, some way, somehow, and he can run sideline to sideline, and that's the prototypical linebacker that you need.
This
playing that
is what you saw at your great corner. You saw with Ray Lewis and
Right.
the Brian Urlacher's
But he's even faster than Ray Lewis. Yeah, he's faster than Brian Urlacher. Those guys were thumpers. They hit you.
Very
Luke is-
smart and very
right.
smart.
And Luke is the best of both worlds. I'm gonna go chase you, then I'm gonna hit you, and that's exactly what he is. So he is the captain of that defense. So if you lose him for some time,
He
it can
gonna feel it.
alter. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think they're a playoff team?
No, absolutely not.
We don't agree much, but we do agree on this.
And plus, who you throwing the ball to in Dallas?
That's the thing.
Me. We should go try out.
Why not?
I don't like
I think we can make it.
Somebody hit me too hard.
We just ain't got to catch it. We just don't go across the middle.
No, what's
You gonna be in the slot though.
Because I'm fast, right?
He gonna put you in the slot.
I'm fast, right?
What's the league minimum for the NFL?
I don't even know.
500,000-600,000. I'll take it.
I take it. Put you in
I
the
like
slot.
my body way too much. I just watch. Let me hold $1. Let me borrow $1. Let me drive y'all to the games or something. Don't throw me in no slot because I could get hit by Luke Kuechly, right? Yeah, I'm cool.
Just don't go across the middle. I told you.
I'm in the slot. Where I'm supposed to go?
Go and then go
Slant,
10
right?
and out.
Slant, right?
Go 10 and out.
Yeah,
go 10
right.
and out. When you come back, we listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio.
Listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey. Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce. This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
And we're back. You're listening to Top Opinions presented in current sports here on IBNX Radio. You're listening to your two favorite hosts of Topics. And we have in the building B-Dog from 680 The Fan.
Yes, sir.
Let's get
Don't
back
cover
into
that up now. Don't try to make up for that now. That'll be 45 minutes into the show.
So now I show you love, you still got a problem.
Now I got to complain about it.
But do you? All right. So what do you complain to do? What is the point of complaining? To resolve the situation?
No, you shouldn't have did it in the first place.
Oh, see, you know what?
You know better.
I know better.
Yeah, you know
Am I
better.
your child?
Nah, you just know better. Like you shouldn't have did that.
Now I'm
You
on
did that
punishment.
on purpose. I don't like it. You just, nah.
First and foremost, let's get back to these picks from last week.
That I won.
Your
Forget
Rams.
that part.
I don't know what you're talking about. Your Rams
My Rams.
defeat the Raiders 33-13.
The Raiders put up a good 30 minutes of football.
30 minutes? I think you stretched it a little bit, but okay.
They played. It was up at halftime.
That's great. But you know football is 2 halves.
60 minutes. Yeah.
You ain't lying.
You know, if it was only 1 half, I'd give it to them. They
Balled out.
took care of us. But, you know, that's not the way it is.
You know, coming off a great last season, then you lose golf. What are your? This is your team, so I really want you to. I want your opinion on that. What are your expectations for the Rams this year?
Well, last year was a surprise. You know, Sean McVay, it was his first season. I didn't know what to expect.
Comes from good football stock, though.
Comes from good football stock. That's true.
But he was inheriting a Fisher team.
He was.
Oh, Lord.
He was inheriting a talentless. I wouldn't say talentless, but it was a void of talent at many positions. You go into that off season, you go get Andrew Whitworth, the offensive lineman, who's the anchor of that offensive line. We go 11-5. Jared Goff threw 28 touchdowns, 7 picks, 41 touchdown interception ratio. I didn't see that coming.
Not from the year before. Absolutely not.
Todd Gurley led the league in all-purpose yards. Now we are
Killed me the year before in fantasy. Absolutely destroyed me.
Do not pick
His
anybody
second
that's
year.
under Fisher. He's a plague.
I didn't know this in fantasy. I was new to the fantasy. Destroyed me. It's my first pick. I still don't forgive Todd Gurley for that.
Well, it's not Todd's fault. Like you said, at that point in time, it was like a high school offense that they were running.
Right.
So now it's a complete 180.
Absolutely.
You have one of the better defenses in the league as far as getting to the quarterback, and that was just with Aaron Donald anchoring that defensive line. That's a man-child. You talking about
He's different.
Finally got his money. I was sitting on pins and needles this offseason. I'm like, all right, when y'all gonna get this man his money? He's whatever he's asking for. He's worth it.
Give it to him.
He's worth it.
Don't be a Khalil Mack in the Raiders. But go ahead.
That's another story for another day. I'm pretty sure we may get to that later. But anyway, I'm happy we got it done. To go 11-5, we took the league by surprise.
Absolutely. I agree.
The way Sean McVay, his offensive scheme, it keeps you on your toes as a defense. You just don't. It's not a traditional offense. There are a lot of, as you saw in the game, there are a lot of wide receiver runarounds where the wide receiver run behind the quarterback, and he may take the ball, the running back may take the ball to keep the defense on his heels. And you saw a lot of that in that game. His defense is really one that confuses. I mean, his offense is one that confuses the defense a lot. And you're going to see a lot of that throughout the year. And we have some decent receivers in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp.
Like Robert Woods.
Yes, I do like Robert
He
Woods
got some
too.
feet.
Yes. Yes. Speedster.
He got some feet.
And then the acquisition of Brandon Cooks. Just to take the top off the defense.
Absolutely.
Now I'm not a big fan of that contract because I don't think you give a guy who you have under control for I think 2 years, who hasn't caught a ball for you. I'm not a fan of you giving him on top of that a 5-year extension, $80-some-odd million. I'm not a fan of that. Not after he hadn't caught a ball for you yet. I understand how dynamic of a talent he is, but not right now. Not right now. I get paying Gurley. I get paying Darnold, but not Brandon Cooks. But when you go out and you go get 2 anchors out there on the corner, like T.O.P.I.C. and Marcus Peters.
Are they both top 10 in their position?
I don't think T.O.P.I.C. is top anymore.
But
Marcus Peters may be top 5.
I was going to throw him in the top 5.
He has the most picks, I think, since he's coming to the league 3 years ago.
Last 3 years.
Yeah, this is 4th year in the league. He has, I think, 20 career picks already. And 6 of them, 4 or 5 or 6 of them have already gone back to the house, as you saw.
Yes.
Monday night. To kind of put the cherry on top.
Is that front 3 the best 3 in the NFL? Sue, Donald, Michael Brockers.
Yes. And it's no disrespect to the Eagles.
Because
it's no disrespect to the
they're
Vikings.
banged up right now.
It's no disrespect to the Jags. When you adding Ndamukong Suh,
we was talking about
and
this last
putting
time.
him next to Aaron Donald,
Insane.
We all know that Suh got attitude problems. Suh has no concern for any human life whatsoever.
None.
You're putting him next to somebody like Aaron Donald. Now, in the first half, they looked a little because they didn't play preseason. They didn't play all preseason.
None of them.
So
that mattered.
Right. They had to work the kinks out. Second half,
when they got it together.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. It's Super Bowl or bust for us this year because you don't.
I had them going to the NFC Championship.
Okay.
At least I feel like they can go to the NFC Championship.
But it's Super Bowl or bust for you.
I just feel as though you don't bring it. Now, obviously, you didn't. It was cheap to get Marcus Peters because Kansas City was tired of him. Akeem Talib, it didn't take much.
On decline.
Yeah, can still play.
But can still
can play, but he's still on decline.
You got Ndamukong Suh for 1 year.
Who I think you resign.
He's gonna play his heart out for that 1 year,
right?
Because he wants to get paid.
Right. I just think it's gonna be hard to pay. The reason why you can do all these things because Jared Goff is still on his rookie contract. You got to eventually pay Marcus Peters if you're going to keep him.
Yes.
And he's not going to be cheap. There are some guys there that you're going to have to pay. So in order for this to work out the way you want to, you got to win within the next year or two. Because if not, that thing called a salary cap is going to come knocking. And it's not friendly.
Absolutely not.
It's not friendly. But I'm impressed. We're 1-0 in a very nice fashion, the way we did it. I have a friend of mine who is a Raider fan.
Oh, you love that.
Yeah.
That was great.
We kind of had a little, but it is what it is. Kind of had a little argument about that, but I'm good.
Them, on the other hand, Raiders don't look good at all. But.
Quick question for you.
Go ahead.
Did you pick the Pats or the Texans?
The Texans. I picked the Texans.
Okay. You picked the Texans. You didn't pick the Pats.
But we're not talking about
Who
that.
won that game?
Pats.
Okay, I won. Cool.
I got them losing next week too, but we ain't even get to that.
I won. Cool. I just wanted to throw that in now. I won.
Switching up to some tennis. Serena Williams loses in straight sets to Naomi Osaka in a controversial U.S. Open final. It was a lot of backlash for her remarks. Controversy on the calls and, the umpire. And then she put in, is it gender related? What are your thoughts on her reaction? How do you feel?
The gender, I get it. Let me first say this.
There's a lot of mixed feelings.
It's a lot of mixed feelings, and it's very hard. This is a very hard topic to comment on, but we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we left this out. We can't really duck the hard topics.
Absolutely.
Right? She didn't react in a way where I thought was bad. And in terms of the competitive nature, this is the U.S. Open Championship. This is for all the marbles. I just been playing till 2:00 in the morning in the middle of New York in the late August, early September, where it's still 80, 90 degrees outside. And I'm playing them for my profession. This is my livelihood. This is my passion. And she felt that it was taken away from her. And she didn't curse.
She stayed respectful.
She stayed respectful the whole time. So if this was men, it'd have been a few F-bombs, it'd have been a few MFs, it'd have been a lot of SOBs in that conversation, and we would have had a completely different context. So that's the first thing I want to say when I was looking at the Serena Williams thing and addressing that was she stayed respectful, she stayed classy the whole time. What she said, she voiced her opinion. I don't know how gender related it is because you're still judging two women playing. So do you fear one woman over the other?
Well, I think she was comparing it more so to
if she was a man being.
Would she get the point?
Would she get the point docked?
Or yeah.
And I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. The problem was the timing was bad because it overshadowed the young girl who looked up to Serena, who won her first
major.
Period.
Not even just US Open. Major.
And the fact that that's the subtopic of the event. But when was there a right time to address it? Does she address it a week later after everybody comes down and then, oh, you're a sore loser because why didn't you say it when it first happened?
Right.
So that's the more disheartening part I felt about the whole situation, and not really in the sense of how she reacted. Was she wrong? Was she right? I'm gonna sit it. I've hit the tennis ball around, and I've done it for the most 15 minutes, and I feel like I was going to catch a heart attack. I put the racket down.
It's real.
Tennis is real. Tennis is like boxing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a cardio
sport. Total body.
So for me, I can't sit up here and say I'm the avid tennis watcher. Like, I've watched Roger Federer. I've watched Rafael Nadal. I've watched Serena Williams. But in terms of what the point was docked for and everything like that, and I just really can't get into those things. But I felt like she acted the way that I don't know any other person who would have acted that classy when it's the U.S. Open Championship, and I lose, and I feel like that was the reason why I lost. That referee would have been we in the parking lot, homeboy. I'm gonna see you after this. That's just me personally. That's my competitive nature. So for her to act the way she did, Serena, I commend you on, because you could have really flipped out. You could have threw the racket. You could have cursed them out. You could have called them on.
She did slam the racket, but
she
that was
slammed
more
the
about her
racket, but
game.
that was more about her game. But how many? Everybody loses a racket. Yeah. You lose a racket in your first round.
Yeah,
and you get mad. The first opening match, if you don't play the way you want to play.
I get the reason she reacted the way she did. On the flip side, when you look at the numbers, and I know numbers don't tell the whole story, there have been the docking of the points and the severity of the penalty she got. It's happened more to men over the years than it has to women. Now, as far as the extent to which the judge went to punish her, I don't agree. So that's why I feel as though she's valid in her argument.
I can't disagree with that.
But I think there are a lot of times where men are docked points and they are treated the same way. I don't like the extent into which he went to punish her and to do what he did. I don't like that. I see it from both ends, but I'm not necessarily going to fault her for the way that she reacted. I have no issue with it.
I can't.
I just to piggyback on both of you, I don't have an issue with the way she reacted either. My only problem that I felt, she kept on going, and I felt that was on top of the reasoning of because she wasn't playing her best game. So on top of that, she was frustrated, and then he basically insulted her without saying anything to her, saying about, oh, you're being coached. So now you're calling her a liar, this, that, and the third. So that I understood. Right. Morally, she's like, yo, I've been playing this for 20 years. I've never been told I'm coaching or docked any point because I'm coaching. No, I don't do that. I don't cheat. Right. So I understood her reaction.
What is that terminology? Can somebody explain that terminology, the coaching?
Now, the thing with that is,
please.
I feel that tennis has to go back and look at this rule. And the thing about this rule is, if you're playing, your coach is in the stands, you can't give them signals or stuff like that. My thing is, why? Why not?
What am I there for then?
But the only reason I have is, what is a coach there for? To coach you. maybe it may take the aspect of instinct out of it. That's why I think possibly. But in any sport, your coach is there to coach you. So why do you have an issue if he said, okay, you know what?
I haven't seen one professional sport that doesn't have a coach.
It's not like the coach is going out there on the court and playing for and taking the racket.
It's not that.
Move, let me do this. It's not that.
And how much coaching can you really do in tennis from all right, listen.
From a couple rows up, from row F.
I'm all the way up, shorten up your swing. Like,
little pointers
what is the
there.
problem?
Right.
I don't see and I think tennis really has to go back and look at this rule. The rule makes no sense.
Yeah.
But I don't have an issue. It gets a little touchy once she started bringing in the gender and this and that. Maybe not during the final, but after, when she did her interview, I had nothing wrong with that. I had no problem with what she said. Yeah, and again, she kept it classy.
I don't have
it classy. Put her arm around the girl, congratulated the young girl, which was great on Serena's part because she could have reacted a completely different way.
Absolutely.
She did it. Staying on the topic of women's sports, because we try to make it. Women's sports is a very big deal. We try to make it a priority.
We want to touch all our viewers.
WNBA Finals is in full swing. Seattle Storm are up 2-0 against the
Game
Mystics.
3 tonight.
Game 3 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Takes, thoughts. What you think? Take, thoughts. Sweep? No sweep?
I feel the Mystic may win tonight. They're back home. Should give them some energy. It's tough because I think it was a buzzer beater for game 2 that tied it up. Did it go into overtime, or was that for the game? By Sue Bird, the legendary Sue Bird. We got to look that up. But
OT.
They went to OT.
I think it was OT.
They went into OT because they were up.
Yeah.
It was OT.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was OT.
So that was a tough one. I feel they're coming back home. Their backs against the wall. They should play much, much better. They got Elena Deladon and Ariel Atkins.
They got the Elena Deladon.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
They got the Elena
I apologize.
She deserves that much.
Right.
Absolutely. No, I do feel they'll come home. That I don't think they win the series, but you never know because they do have the Elena Deladon.
Yeah, but the Storm have the 3-headed monster that's
Breanna Stewart,
who's WNBA MVP.
Jewel Lloyd.
Mm-hmm. Jewel Lloyd is the one. I'd like Jewel Lloyd when she was in Notre Dame. She took it to UConn every year in the Final Four. Every year.
Absolutely.
And they got the legend.
Yeah, I think the Storm closed this thing out.
I think the Storm closed it as well. Yeah.
I know Deladon is. She had that injury in the previous. Was that her that had the injury in the previous series with the Dream against the?
And she came back and
came back and
closed it out.
And, that hurt. That hurt. As an Atlanta fan, you as an Atlanta fan, when it comes to anything, you just hoping that one of these teams can go and see
the Dream did lose Angel McCoughtry.
They did, but for them to overcome her injury,
Angel McCoughtry plays is a different conversation.
True,
she's top 10 players in the WNBA.
True,
easily.
But for them to get there, you were hoping that you overcame that. Hopefully, you can overcome it again and win it and get to the finals. And it's like
it's sports. It ain't the civil rights movement now.
No, it's
how
not.
much overcoming you gonna get?
But you understand, but it's Atlanta sports history.
I get it. It would have been great for the city.
Sports.
It'd have been great for the city.
Yeah.
It'd have been great for the city because you had the Falcons 2 years ago in the Super Bowl.
Man, if they would have won that. Oh,
and then
Lord.
you had Georgia last year in the championship. Well, I think they'll get back. I think Atlanta's right now on the swing of things. The Braves in first place right now, so it's hot right now.
So just got to win.
Somebody got to win though. Somebody got to win.
It's good when you're in this place now, when you're first place and you're undefeated, whatever. It's that when you get to that game, something catastrophic happens. And then everything else is for loss then because I would have rather not been here than for us to lose in the fashion that we did.
Being up 20 points second half. Ooh, I felt that.
I don't care how many times people say they want that to go away. That'll never go away. That'll never go away. It is what it is. You cemented in history as the biggest Super Bowl collapse
ever. 2
Staying on topic though, with
we're gonna take a quick break and then come back. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have some more WNBA, some legendary. We always put into numbers the list of greatest NBA players, football players, but we're gonna do that with the WNBA. You're listening to Topics here on IBNX Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, each and every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. JC Squared on the air show. Jason J-Boy Kerry. JC Squared on the air. The reason. Good music. Celebrity birthday. The daily segment. And today in hip hop. IBNX Radio and the JC on the air show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something.
This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media.
Welcome back. You were tuned in Topics here on IBNX Radio. Our special guest, my man B.
Yo.
B. Let me ask you this. I'm not even going to go through with this B because I'm still kind of upset. I'm calming down, but you're still a Laker fan.
Okay.
Horrible.
We have a list of, we always list our greatest, whenever we're talking about sport. Last week we talked about greatest baseball players, outfielders. We usually talk top 10 basketball players.
Okay.
Last year we did a draft during the All-Star game. We did decade by decade, and we drafted teams and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we never give the women any love, so we were going to give the women some love, at least our list of top 10
Greatest female
basketball players.
Put you on the spot.
To put you on the spot like that.
I know.
To put you on the spot like that. So we'll go, and you can kind of nitpick and pick from our list, I guess.
Let's roll with that.
It did.
I got some names in mind.
I know you got some names, and I think when it comes to this stuff, I think me and him are not too far apart, actually, when it comes to this kind of stuff. Actually, It's one of the few things we're not that far apart, honestly.
Few things.
Okay.
Very few things.
And this is all time.
All time.
Okay.
All time. Want me to go? All right. So when I'm putting my list together, I was going off people that I seen. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't want to, ruffle any feathers of any past greats, but I'm gonna name them.
You can't. We didn't rank them. I didn't rank them in terms of who I thought was the best.
Me either. I put a list of 10.
Okay, cool. I think we're going to be very similar.
I want to put I can't say godfathers of the women's basketball. I'm going to say godmothers, Cheryl Miller, and Nancy Lieberman.
I actually, I had Nancy Lieberman on, and then I took her off because of who I kept off.
Okay, so all right. I guess you can explain that once we get to
Yeah.
Okay, so
and a lot of people regard, speaking of Cheryl Miller,
as the best women's basketball player.
Yeah,
all time.
And it's not an issue.
And just listening to stories and numbers she put up is insane.
Then she had 100 and something. What's she scored in high school?
A couple of times.
A couple times she scored 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
More months.
Yeah. A couple times. So and then she went across seas and havoc.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a WNBA.
Yeah. So, I give all praises to her, and what I heard Nancy Lieberman was the truth as well. And
wasn't she one of the first women to play in a men's league?
Yes. I forgot the name of the men's league, but yes, I looked at her story too. Yeah. Real. So I want to give
Nancy Lieberman. Then she got married. Nancy Lieberman Klein after she got married or something like that. Correct.
Her son plays. I don't know if he's in college or the league, but her son plays.
Shout out to Doris Burke too.
You see when she was on the court and she threw it between her legs?
I love Doris Burke. I really love Doris Burke.
Shout out to Doris Burke. I feel like Doris Burke definitely needs.
Hearing her. I like listening to her.
Very knowledgeable.
It's just whenever she's broadcasting, whenever she's commentating, I'll sit there and just listen. I just like listening to her. It's just some people you just like.
We agree. I agree with you on that.
I appreciate the fact NBA 2K put her as a commentator at least the last 2 years. I appreciate that.
Shout out to Doris Burke.
Shout out to Doris Burke.
There's a few women I left off the list also, but I feel like we gotta shout them out. I left Cynthia Cooper off the list.
You left Cynthia Cooper off the list.
Cynthia Cooper.
I need to hear your top 10 because you
left Cynthia Cooper off the list. Left Teresa Weatherspoon off the list.
All right.
And then when the WNBA first starting, being in New York, that whole Liberty Wave.
Do either one of y'all have Swing Cash?
Swing Cash is another one I left off the list.
And she was
very close.
mention, but I left off.
And also Rebecca Lobo, I feel like her career was played short
because of injury.
But bad college, very good in college.
I'm gonna give you a homegrown product, Maya Moore.
Maya Moore is on my list.
She's on the list.
No, she doesn't get left
She's on the list.
She's actually towards, and I know we didn't say any particular order, but she's towards the top because she's one of the first name. You know what? I have Diana Taurasi.
Okay.
I got her on the list.
Maya Moore.
I got her on the list.
Lisa Leslie.
Oh yeah.
Cheryl Swoops.
Got her on the list.
Cynthia Cooper.
Okay.
Tamika Catchins.
Okay.
Tina Thompson.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe, I don't know, this was biased, but Shamika Holslaw.
No. See, and I'm glad you brought that up because I had Nancy Lieberman on the list.
But you took her off for Shamika.
But I took her off for Shamika Holdsclaw. And the problem is, Shamika Holdsclaw at one point
was a terror.
No. Let's just say she ruled women's basketball. I think she's had a period where she ruled women's basketball. I think maybe the only person who ruled women's basketball longer may be a Cheryl Miller. I remember like Shamika Holdsclaw being like hearing like when I was like 8 years old. Shamika Holdsclaw, and then till now, like you don't say anything bad when it comes to Shamika Holdsclaw in terms of basketball. No. So Shamika Holdsclaw definitely is on that list. And then she didn't join the WNBA until the end of her career. And I felt like she did it just as a bucket list to basketball and to herself. Like, I'm going to just do this because this is probably the only thing in basketball that I didn't get to do yet. But we don't get the appreciation for Shamika Holdsclaw because she was just that dominant overseas that she didn't feel the need to join the WNBA.
And she was making money.
She was making more money than she would have made in the WNBA. But Shamika Holdsclaw in 98, 99, 2000 when the WNBA first started.
Terror. She would have lit it.
So somebody else who played overseas, I want to get your take on Candace Parker. What do you have?
I have her on my list.
I don't have her on the list. I didn't want to have so many current players on the list. So you know who I swapped out for Candace Parker? I put in Sue Bird just because of Sue Bird high school wise, Sue Bird UConn wise.
Okay.
And then total wise, what she did in the WNBA, I think she has. If she wins this one, it's going to be either her third or fourth WNBA championship because she won. Remember, she won 2 when she had Lauren Jackson.
Yeah, and she's on my list as well too. Lauren
Probably
Jackson,
the best female international player
ever.
I'm not mad at either one of you all. I'm not mad at who you took off to put on, who you didn't take off, and probably should. I'm not mad at either one of them. All those women are women who impacted the game in their own way, but I agree that Cheryl Miller, Cheryl Miller, baby.
Cheryl Miller's the one. I think Cheryl Miller's the synonymous number one.
Every time I hear Reggie Miller on the TNT broadcast
talk about his sister,
he always talks about her in regards as the greatest WNBA basketball player of all time. That's the way he introduces his sister. Every time he talks about it, that's the way he does
and the best athlete in my house. That's
the way he does say that.
The best athlete in my house was Cheryl Miller.
Yep.
What I need from Reggie Miller is to give up the licensing and please get put in the in NBA 2K, please.
To give it up so he could be.
He could because there's 3 players that are ruining NBA 2K to keep an NBA 2K perfect. And this is completely off topic, but we need to discuss this.
What's up?
There's 3 people that need to be in NBA 2K because you got the all-time teams now. You got certain classic teams that are in there. I'm not sure if you're indulged in the NBA 2K, but there's 3 people that need to be in NBA 2K that are now in NBA that are not in NBA 2K. It was 4, but we got 1 this year with Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy is now in NBA 2K. But Charles Barkley is not in NBA 2K. We need Charles Barkley in NBA 2K. Okay. Reggie Miller is the second person we need in NBA 2K. And I think the third person is Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace. So if y'all are listening, tell Shaq to tell Reggie and them play this. Charles, all that TNT, because all 3 of them they in TNT in some capacity.
Right.
We need them because they're ruining. Well, they're not ruining NBA 2K, but 2K will be
away
almost
from it.
perfect with those 3 guys.
Right.
And I need those guys.
Right.
All right, cool. Thank you. I just was going to use you for that. Flipping back, football.
Football.
We talked about this last week because you asked me a very stupid question last week.
Listen, it's a question. I mean, regardless of the fact,
question.
it could be a stupid question, but these are questions that people ask.
He asked me a question last week. Did Aaron Rodgers deserve the contract that Aaron Rodgers did? Exactly. The look that was the look I gave him.
I never said that he didn't deserve it, but this is a question that people want to know. People want to know your opinion. So this is why I ask. Regardless if you think it's stupid.
It was very stupid.
you're entitled to your opinion.
Did Aaron Rodgers deserve?
We asked that last week. Yes.
He asked me that. We didn't ask. We didn't do
Absolutely,
nothing.
1000% yes.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know where you all are on this, but to me, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of football I've ever seen in my life.
And you're not
we
by
are
yourself.
on your side.
You're not by
We are
yourself
holding
on
a
this.
straight line.
You're not by
having
yourself.
this conversation.
Talent for talent. To be able,
Skill for skill.
skill for skill.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
Skill for
Skill for
now,
skill.
Tom Brady's the more accomplished.
Decorated.
And I gotta get people to understand that. People say, I'll say that, be like, oh, no, what about Tom Brady? I said, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I remember like some of the old heads used to say that, Dan Marino, nobody threw a football like Dan Marino.
And,
I get it.
I watched
I'm
him
saying
film.
the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Nobody throws the football like Aaron Rodgers. Nobody has the accuracy of Aaron. He has 375 career touchdown passes. He only has 75 picks.
It's insane. Insane.
Where they do that at? Who else has anything remotely close? He's going to go down with the greatest touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history.
Ever. He has the highest QBR. Ever.
Well,
one season. Ever.
He doesn't run like Mike Vick, but he has legs.
I think he's tough.
And can
I think
throw.
he's tougher than him. Didn't he get carted off?
Yes.
He got carted off. He didn't score.
No, he didn't get carted off. When?
Yeah, he got carted off. But the Bears game?
Sunday
carted
night,
off?
he got carted off.
No, he walked off the field and got carted to the back. He didn't get carted off the
Either
field.
way, they put you in a
put him
cart.
on a cart and they rolled him to the back.
Yeah, from the sideline.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not from the field, though. He walked off the field.
He walked off the field.
Either way, they put you on a cart. You're hurt. If they got to get the cart for you, you're hurt. No, you're injured. You're not hurt. You're injured.
Right.
When they roll the cart out.
And he came back, and on one leg,
You witness greatness.
a second half.
He threw 3 fourth quarter touchdown passes. 3. I don't understand. I listen to a lot of these guys, and I'm like, they want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand what else you need to see. Yes, he only has 1 Super Bowl. He is a 2-time MVP.
Dan Marino has none.
None. And everybody wants to compare
But that's
him
why they don't
compare him to Tom Brady. But I'm like, look, I understand the greatness of Tom Brady. I'm not taking anything away from Tom. Tom is immaculate. But Tom has one thing. He's had one thing consistently that Aaron Rodgers has never had.
Belichick.
The system.
Belichick.
Defense. Aaron Rodgers, you realize in 2010, I think that's when 2010 or 2011 when he won the Super Bowl, his defense was number 1 or top 2 or 3 in the league in takeaways. We know that when you give him a defense who can at least get the ball back to him, he's going to do his job.
Absolutely.
But he needs his defense not to give up 40 points a game. If I score 40, I don't need you to give up 40.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Just give up less. Because
I'll get you 40.
I'm going to get you
I
40.
can definitely get you 40. I can definitely get you 40.
Don't give up more than I score. It's two parts of a football team. It's offense and Aaron Rodgers doesn't play defense. He needs you to do your job. He needs you to get the ball back to him. And the Green Bay defense over the years has had a hard time doing that.
Absolutely.
And
I
it frustrates
totally agree.
me.
So Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
He was the best quarterback in the NFL. Now he's the best quarterback in the NFL 3 years ago.
I think we said that too.
We did.
We said that.
We did. I mean, we can't take anything away from that.
So what was your thoughts on the Bears' performance? Because the Bears had a big question mark. Bears weren't really we weren't expecting the Bears to be any good. So is it like
I told a friend of mine when I saw Khalil Mack have the first half that he did, I said, somebody get John Gruden on the phone. I think the front office needed to get John Gruden on the phone and say, hey, man, I know you ain't played your first game yet, but we're going to have to go a different direction. We're going to fire you.
that was another thing. You traded your defense. You let your defense go.
You didn't just trade a player. You traded your defense.
You traded a guy that was not an all-pro at one position, but two
Same
positions.
thing. I said the same thing.
He is an all-pro at 2 positions. I don't care what he wanted. And that's the problem with the whole John Gruden thing. He walks in and thinks he's the alpha and almighty, whatever. But they that defense looked good. That defense looked
Very
good.
good.
They got after Aaron. They put Aaron on a cart. But that's why you have 2 halves. That defense could not sustain in the second half.
That's the thing, and that's what I was also about to bring up. Khalil Mack didn't play all preseason.
Right.
He wasn't in total game shape.
Right.
It's a difference from being in shape and being in game shape.
Yeah.
You could tell he ran out of gas in that second half, that fourth quarter. It's because he was a terror in that first half. A terror. But, and when he started running out of gas, you seen the defense, all right, lack up a little bit. And then the great one comes back.
Right.
That's all she wrote.
But I think that defense has some promise for years to come. Because
Absolutely.
when you look at a linebacking core of Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Leonard Floyd, you have the D-line that they have. I think the biggest concern for that defense is the secondary.
Yes.
But if those guys can get after the quarterback, you could possibly cover that up. I don't know how often they can get the quarterback down. But if they can get after the quarterback, it can help that secondary out. But they have a pretty good front seven.
But let me ask you something. As if we were Bears fans, can we trust Trubisky to take us to that next level?
Not yet. You can't trust him after one game.
I gotta see more.
Gotta see more.
I gotta see more.
See more.
Do I think he'll take another step this year?
Yes.
Okay. Do I think he has a few more weapons around him? Yes. But do I think he
trust him?
I still think the Bears are the Lions are the last place team in the North. I think the Bears they finished third in the North. In the NFC North, they finished third. It's a Packers-Vikings battle for the North.
Absolutely.
Just what it is. And I don't know who I have winning the division. And we'll see that. I think the Vikings. I think the Vikings have the Packers. Is it Sunday?
Who?
I think the Vikings and the Packers.
Packers, yeah,
play
in
Sunday,
Lambeau.
In Lambeau. So you get your first dose of the two teams who are at the top of the NFC North, and that defense versus Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers will play, we don't know the severity of the injury yet, but
that's one of our picks of the week too. So we're gonna talk about that game. But yeah, I don't know if I fully trust Trubisky, but I get what y'all saying. You know, he'll maybe take a step forward.
It wasn't like, oh, yeah, we got to get him out of here.
I know.
It wasn't one of those. It wasn't a fix it, Jesus. It wasn't one of those. But trust, that's a strong word, player.
All right.
Strong word.
That's their future.
Right. It is.
Lord.
God bless him. So, switching it over to some NBA talk.
I'm gonna let my man B-Dog and get. He's gonna get first digs at this topic.
Okay, so
and this is out of respect. I honestly respect your sports mind.
Okay, so this past week I watched the NBA in Hall of Fame induction.
Okay,
they had great names, amazing champions, and some from same class as well. So, we had Jason Kidd and Grant Hill from the 94 class.
Okay.
And we also had Ray Allen and Steve Nash from the 96 class. So our fan topic of the week, a fan sent this over and said, looking at that induction, and I also got to piggyback off this too, but looking at this induction, who do you think is the greatest NBA draft class of all time?
For me, it was two, but now I'm looking at three.
Possibly, and I think I know where you're going with that.
We're gonna go with three.
Three.
Okay.
We're gonna go the #84 draft with Mike and Charles Barkley.
Okay.
I think Hakeem Olajuwon was there.
And John Stockton
was there. Mm-hmm. That's four right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to '96 draft with Kobe.
Have to.
Kobe, Steve Nash, Ray Allen. I think
Allen
Iverson, number one.
Yeah.
Marcus Camby.
Yeah.
Stephon Marbury.
Marbury was there, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go to '03 draft with LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Melo. It's between those three as the greatest draft class.
But then David West was also in that draft class.
Yes. David West was good.
He had a nice run.
Is he on the level of those guys?
Nah, but I mean, you could throw him
those
in
guys
there.
that I named are Hall of Famers.
Since he said Camby, I guess you got to throw West in because you said Camby.
Camby was the number one pick.
Yeah, but who's?
Yeah.
I mean, number two pick.
But who's? David West is getting how many Hall of Fame votes?
None. But I mean, if you got to put a star in 5, does he start out of that class?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
In '03? Definitely
also-
over. I know Milicic ain't starting.
Hold on. We named LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh, and
Melo.
Melo. I just thought 4. Let's roll. Let's go. We just have LeBron bounce back between 2 positions, baby. That's all. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go. But it's between 3, and it's hard for me to pick.
I'm going 96.
Yeah, most people would probably go.
I'm going 9-6. I'm
Highlighted.
going 9-6, bro.
Highlighted.
It's going 9-6.
Highlighted by Kobe Bryant.
Highlighted by Kobe Bryant. It's 9-6.
9-6.
I'm not taking. You have the 2 of the 3 best, in my opinion, shooting guards ever.
Okay.
And Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant.
But you also in the '84 draft. I'm being
You have the
devil
greatest.
You have the greatest player.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have arguably the greatest power forward, unless you put. Now we have Tim Duncan. I'm not gonna say that.
Charles Barkley's not top 5.
Power forwards?
Not top 5. Charles Barkley. We can discuss
What?
this when you get back. Charles Barkley.
Huh? Tell me who your top 5 is.
Tim Duncan.
I need to write this down. I'm sorry.
Tim Duncan.
Go ahead.
Karl Malone.
Okay.
Kevin Garnett. Kevin McHale. And I'm missing somebody.
I know who you're missing.
I'm not missing Charles Barkley.
I know who you're missing.
We did this last year. I'm not missing somebody. I forgot who I'm missing.
Is Chris Bosh not there?
Nah, he not.
Chris Bosh is not in my top 5.
Chris Bosh not in my top 5.
You putting Kevin McHale over Charles Barkley?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Why? How?
But if you're stuck,
of rebound.
Yes.
you're stuck right now. You're stuck, and you're being disrespectful.
Wait a minute. Charles Barkley is a top 5 power forward.
We all know this.
And you gotta take into consideration he did it as a undersized power forward.
He's 6'4". I was in the airport walking. I seen Charles Barkley walk by. We was eye to eye.
Yeah, he's a top 5 power forward.
And I don't care how tall. You can't even name the 5th person?
Drew a blank.
It's not drawing a blank. You being disrespectful.
I'm not being disrespectful. I don't think Charles Barkley's top 5. I'm sorry.
Nah, he's top 5.
Okay.
The round amount of rebound is
Please.
top 5.
Okay. So he's 5th.
He could be your 5th.
That's fine.
He could be your
So
5th.
where's he on y'all list? Because he's not better than Tim Duncan, Karl Malone. He's better than Kevin Garnett.
Why you put him? Why you put
No,
Karl
he's not,
Malone
better
over
than,
him?
he's not better than Kevin Garnett.
What?
I'm just asking. Why?
The second best scorer in NBA history.
He's the second great. Okay, because he had the. All right.
Charles is 5th.
Let me ask you something.
Okay, I'll get. You know
I'm
what?
gonna be devil's advocate.
Since I drew a blank, Barkley's 5th.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate.
Barkley's 5th. Okay.
We got a call. Oh, I hope they're pleased they're talking about this Charles Barkley thing. If y'all not, I'm gonna hang up on you. I don't believe you said that with a straight
Mr.
face.
Caller.
Listen,
said it.
you're on topics. Who am I speaking with? Hello, caller. They hung up. Well, I guess. Oh well. But let's get back. So you said, all right. So you said you put him 5th now because you can't figure out disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
Bro. Okay.
It is disrespectful.
He's
But you
the
put
best power forward all time.
Okay, so you have Timmy, Karl Malone. So you put Karl Malone because he's the second greatest scorer ever. Well, he scored the most points, the second most points, because I don't think he's the second greatest scorer ever. He played a long time, and he played with arguably
The second best point
second
guard
or
in my
third best
opinion.
point guard
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
In a great system.
John
Stockton?
Yeah. Second or third. He's top 3.
I put where I had him on my list
You had him second
Fourth?
or third or 4th. I don't remember. It was your list.
because I had okay.
I had him second.
You got the look. You got.
I had him second because
just thinking.
nobody's
Yeah,
going to
years
touch that
running.
assist record,
Okay.
and nobody's going to touch that steals record.
Okay.
I think Magic was the consensus.
I think Magic was the
Yeah,
Magic
Magic
changed
is-
the way basketball was played.
So Magic was the consensus, and then
Magic's
you had
number
Stockton
one.
I
second.
had Stockton second, Jason Kidd third.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that at all.
But
I'm mad at.
But
the
as
power
two
forward.
different point guards, me and him, we looked at the game completely different. If I would say, I think I'm more pass first, he's more score first.
Well, the way that the game is going now, it's your point
Your
guards
point
are,
guard
like,
is-
are like Russell Westbrook and John Wall.
Yeah, point guard is arguably probably the best player on your team.
Yeah,
now.
for some teams,
so you
yeah.
need him to score
Yeah.
and run the
Kind
team.
of has to be.
And then
You
your
know,
guys like Chris Paul, your old school point guards.
And it's
Top
probably
five
maybe
in my
two.
opinion.
It's maybe 2 or 3 of those still in the league. Pass first. You got Rubio,
Yeah.
Rondo, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. And then the thing about it, out of those three, is that Chris Paul's the
Call
only
us
one that
back.
can shoot.
Call us back.
Are we sure we have the caller? All right. All right.
Call
Don't hang
air.
up this time.
Call you on air. Talk to us.
Hey, what's going on? It's Wayne from New York.
Wayne, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother?
And you know what? I think I know where you're going with
why
this.
you
Go
don't have
ahead.
the mute button queued up. Why you don't have the mute button queued up? I just want to know why the mute button did not go into effect once he said Charles Barkley was not.
Thank you.
I need to know that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. I knew that. I knew it was coming. I don't. Listen.
I got so upset I got cut off the first time when I called just now. Now I had to call back.
Go ahead. Who's your 5?
Somebody got to explain this to me. He said Kevin McHale.
Yeah, he put.
Kevin McHale was great.
So how was it?
Karl
I said
Malone,
Kevin McHale. And
great
Kevin McHale
player.
was great. Yeah.
Karl Malone, great player. But let's name the best player Charles Barkley played with in his prime.
Who?
The best player he played with in his prime.
What's that?
Is you gonna be stuck?
In his prime. Kevin Johnson?
That's the
Probably
only person
so.
you could go with.
Probably
I'm
so.
sorry?
Caller,
Turn
if you
it-
could turn your
turn-
background
yeah,
down.
turn the TV
also.
down in your
Kinda
background.
The feedback is if you could turn that down for us.
Yeah, I'm
All right, but I mean, everybody, yeah, cool. I mean, I put him 5th. All right, cool. Just because I drew a blank. But when we did this last year, I got to go back. We got to go back and watch it because there was somebody else that we put in front of Charles Barkley.
But there's no one. I don't even think he's. I mean, regardless of the fact, it's your list, so you put him 5th. But I don't think there's 2 players on that list that should go before him. I don't have him. I don't have Kevin McHale and Karl Malone before him on my list.
Kevin Garnett neither. I'm sorry. And
Oh.
maybe that's hating me, but I'm
KG?
just like Kevin.
Whoa. You want to talk about the best player Charles Barkley played with? Who was the best player Kevin Garnett played with?
The best player in the
Latrell
league.
Sprewell and Sam Cassell. Well, before he got to the Celtics, Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell was the best that he ever played with.
Who was the Kevin Garnett is the reason why Minnesota is still an NBA franchise. Still.
Yeah. He should have left Minnesota alone.
Or you disagree with that too, Antonio?
What happened?
What's that?
Is the reason that Minnesota is still an NBA franchise and they ain't get rid of them
For
is
Kevin
because
Garnett?
of Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
When you think of NBA franchises, you think of and you say Minnesota, you automatically think of Kevin Garnett. You don't think of anybody else. Phoenix, you can even throw Phoenix. You're gonna
Phoenix Suns though.
Steve Nash.
What did Barkley do for the Phoenix Suns?
Steve. You can put Steve Nash in that conversation. Steve Nash is who now is a Hall of Famer, got 2 MVPs.
But if there was no Charles Barkley, if there's no Charles Barkley, then you have no Steve Nash. You could have the same thing could have happened.
So
with
what about the
Phoenix
whole
back in
Connie
the day.
Hawkins,
He put
that
Steve
whole
Barkley
era
on
with
the
Tom
map.
Chambers
He
and those
put
guys?
Steve
No, he
Barkley
did
with
not.
Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley.
The Suns were champions. The Suns were NBA champions before Charles Barkley even got in the NBA. The Suns were NBA champions in the late 70s.
That's a long time ago.
It don't matter. So were the Knicks, but the Knicks still are synonymous because of that.
A lot has changed.
You have some of the greats with Tom Chambers. You got Dennis Johnson, who was in Phoenix. You got Connie Hawkins, who was in Phoenix way before Charles Barkley. If I'm not mistaken, when that list came out, wasn't Connie Hawkins top 50?
Wait, could you name those players again? Could you name those players again?
Dennis Johnson, sure. Tom Chambers, sure. Connie Hawkins, who when the list came out back in the early 90s, was a top 50 player, greatest player ever.
All-Star appearances in his career?
Tom Chambers?
So he had, 2 All-Star appearances in his career?
He's not better than Charles Barkley, but we're talking about the terms of the Phoenix Suns compared to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's what we're talking about. The Phoenix Suns were way more relevant at one point than the Timberwolves ever were. The Timberwolves never were relevant.
We all know that NBA is always based on location too. Players don't want to play, and who wants to go to Minnesota?
All I'm going to say is why you don't have Kevin Garnett there.
Yeah.
He is in your top 5.
I didn't know. I didn't say. Listen,
You said
I didn't say he wasn't in my top 5. I just want to put him in front of Charles Ball.
Oh, that's cool. Well, however you arrange the top 5.
Yeah, that's how
is
you
up to
arrange the
but
top 5,
I just
okay.
want to make sure he's there.
I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna do my research. There's somebody I'm drawing a blank on.
Kevin McHale is
Wayne, listen, we on the same page on that. So, but at the end of the day, that's his list. But whatever he want to have it. But I want to appreciate you calling in, brother. We got to move it along, but appreciate it.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate you. Definitely.
Absolutely, brother.
All
Good job, brothers.
Take care. All right, so appreciate Wayne calling in on this controversial list that this man next to me said.
But okay, and I also have another question when we come back from break.
I don't want to hear something if it has anything to do with the garbage you just said.
It's not garbage. It's not garbage.
But we got to take a quick break. When we come back, you have more topics here on IBNX Radio.
And gentlemen, each and every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. JC Squared on the Air Show. Jason J-Boy Carey. JC Squared on the Air. Reason. Good music. Celebrity birthday. The Daily segment. And Today in Hip Hop. IBNX Radio and the JC Squared on the Air Show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something.
This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media.
Somebody I left off.
So
It was somebody I left off. Welcome back. Tune in to T.O.P.I.C.S on IBNX Radio. I did not have Charles Bar. We got another caller? Got a caller. Caller, we got a caller.
listen.
Caller, you on the air? Okay. Working on it. I got Dirk Nowitzki.
You got Dirk? Okay.
You have Dirk Nowitzki as your fifth. I'm not mad that you put Dirk in your five.
You know what? It's funny because we left him out. I forgot about him.
I'm not mad that you have him in your
there
five.
was somebody I left off.
But I don't feel like there's other there's and
So
that
you take
total
out. So
five.
you're putting Charles Barkley and you're taking out Kevin McHale.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
So, hold on, say that one more time.
he's taking out Kevin McHale out of the top five and putting Charles Barkley.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
You cool with that?
I'm
You cool with that?
I'm fine with that.
Now this is the biggest question for me, right? And this is my personal opinion as well. You have a caller? Caller, you're on the air. If you can hear us, if you're tuned in.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Dad, what's up, man? Talk to me, bro. Talk, Dad. Yeah, don't be shy, player. Acknowledge your son. Go ahead. Tell him how much you agree with.
Actually, I don't have a comment. I was actually.
Top 10 Lakers.
Since I know I'm
Your preference.
And my preference.
This is my dad, by the
Which
way.
one? What's the question? I'm sorry.
Top 10
He
Lakers.
wasn't talking to you. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I apologize.
All right, well, I'm going to start off with Kobe Bean Bryant, 20 years as a Laker, who another great Laker and Magic Johnson regards as the greatest Laker of all time. Now, you can debate back and forth about that all you want. 2, Shaquille O'Neal. And it's not because I work with him or for him, but watching him, he's the most dominant force in NBA history.
You put Magic behind Shaq. That's interesting.
Well,
Preference.
3 is Magic, and it's not because Magic isn't he is a transcending player. It's just that Kobe and Shaq are the ones that I grew up on. You know, I'm from the era of Kobe and Shaq, so there's Magic at 3.
This is where it get dicey.
It is because now you're getting into areas where
You weren't really familiar.
yeah. Now we're getting into the Coopers of the world, the Kareems, guys like that, the Wilkes. It gets dicey after 4, after 3 and 4.
So who's 4?
I'm gonna go with Kareem. Kareem is at 4 behind Shaq. The skyhook is
Synonymous.
Oh, it's gonna be the most unstoppable move
Yeah.
in NBA history.
right. I just think Kareem. See, it's hard when you start getting into those different eras. You know, people have those conversations about the eras.
What about the logo?
Jerry West is there, but for him to get to the finals, 9 times and only win 1?
It's tough.
It's tough. It is tough.
Try to
But,
talk bad about LeBron. Jesus Christ.
and at some point in time, somebody's going to throw it. LeBron hadn't bounced the ball for us yet, so I can't put him there.
Absolutely not.
No, Jerry West is there.
Hell no.
Once you go down that list, I don't. There are a lot of great Lakers. I don't know if I can put 10 of them in my list though. Like it stops like at 5.
10 Lakers.
Pop, you still there?
I'm still listening. Still listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm born. I was born in.
My criticism is the same as it is for my two sons.
And the ones before. But wait, he had to do that to me. Quick question, Pop, before you go. Your son said something, and I just want to pick your brain real quick since you're on the phone. Who's your top 5 greatest power forwards ever?
My greatest whoever?
Power forwards ever.
Number 1 is Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Number 2, Karl Malone.
Okay.
Number 3 is Elvin Hayes.
Okay.
Number 4 gets dicey. After them, it becomes you have to put guys like the Busher in there. Even though I hated his game, but he did accomplish a lot over his career. Power forward was never the dominating position because the more dominating players they moved them over to. They moved him over to center, or either they were the 3 to small forward. But I got Tim, Karl Malone,
Elvin Hayes.
Who did I just miss? Karl Malone.
Elvin Hayes.
Then number 4 would be Kevin Garnett, and number 5 would probably be Kevin McHale.
Okay.
So you keep that same energy. Why you not talking to him like that?
Pop, you got to go now. So, Pop.
I gotta go now. Okay, Jay.
What happened?
Why you?
What?
You scared of him?
Why I gotta be scared of him?
Because you wasn't keeping that same energy. He ain't had Charles Barkley top 5. You scared of him?
Elvin Hayes.
You realize he didn't have Charles Barkley there.
That's my point. He did that on purpose. That's what I'm talking about. You scared of him?
I wanted to hit.
Yeah, you scared of him, bro. It's all right. It's cool. Keep that same energy.
Listen.
My question is, this is my biggest thing, right? This is the question mark. Do you feel Grant Hill should have been a Hall of Famer first ballot? And what is the
Just a quick before we go into trivia, but just to answer your question, I do because it's the Naismith basketball.
So it's your whole basketball career. Yes. So my whole thing is
that's why Yao Ming is in.
But Yao Ming got in global.
Yeah, that's why I said it's basketball.
And plus his contributions to the NBA.
To the NBA, so he has to get
it.
But my question is, so what is the difference? So if there's a college basketball Hall of Fame, does that not take precedent over your? Is it still tied in?
No, because you still know what you did in college. And let's be real, his first 6 years in Detroit, he was killing.
Injuries is what played.
It's just injuries that would happen afterwards.
Okay. But with being that, I wasn't really sure what the dynamic was with him. If you tie what he did in at Duke, then he's in. No problem. He's in. No problem.
Let's get to it.
Trivia?
Let's get to it.
Are you ready, sir? Mr. B-Dog, sir, are you ready?
I'm here.
All right, so this is how we're going to do this, right? We brought back trivia time with Tone. I hated that, by the way.
Why you got to hate it?
I just didn't like it.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So we're going to keep a score. 10 multiple choice questions. I'm going to ask you guys the same question, and then you guys give each other the answer. Cool. We'll keep score.
Cool.
Okay.
So you'll give the answer, then I'll say which one is right. Okay. All right, so we're going to start it off.
Okay.
Who was the youngest player to score 10,000 points in the NBA? Is it A, Michael Jordan, B, Kobe Bryant, C, LeBron James, D, Wilt Chamberlain?
Damn, that's a tough one. You added that last one.
The youngest to score 10,000.
The youngest to 10,000.
The youngest to 10,000.
Do you guys want the options again?
No, you said it was
Mike, Kobe,
LeBron, or Will.
LeBron.
Go ahead, boss man.
I got Kobe.
I'm gonna go LeBron.
We have 1 for Mr. Dog. We have 0 for Mr. Tone.
You got to remember everything that Kobe accomplished. He was the youngest until LeBron came along.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first, right?
No, you said the youngest to eclipse 10,000.
Not the first.
Not the first. Yeah.
I apologize.
Not the first.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Well, he wasn't the first player in the NBA, so I don't think he was the first to eclipse 10,000.
But the youngest at that age.
Oh, who's the first youngest person,
Yeah.
not the youngest person. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't question it. Now, here goes another detailed one. Something similar.
Go ahead.
Who is the quickest player? Quickest player. So who did this in the least amount of games, right?
Yeah.
Quickest player to 100 home runs for their career.
Okay.
We have A, Ryan Howard. B, Albert Pujols. C, Mike Trout. And D, my all-time favorite, Ken Griffey Jr.
That's my all-time favorite, too.
That's why I think I forgave you for the Laker thing because you made up most of the facets. You made up more.
Quickest to 100 home runs.
I'll let you go.
So that's the
first,
least
sir.
amount of games we're talking.
The quickest to 100 home runs. I'm going to go Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. Terra era. Quickest. What was the other 3? It was Ken Griffey, Pujols,
Mike
and
Trout
Ryan Howard.
and Ryan Howard.
I'm gonna go Ryan Howard.
It's Ryan Howard, actually.
Okay. All right.
It's Ryan Howard.
Forgot how much of a beast Ryan Howard
What?
was.
When he came on the scene, boy.
Yeah. The last vision I have of Ryan Howard is him tearing his Achilles
Tough.
Because he was in Atlanta last, right?
for a second.
For a second. And he had some good moments in Atlanta. No.
You put that Philly jersey on.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, that's him, Jimmy Rollins. That was the team.
Chase Utley.
Chase
Damn.
Utley. Who was the pitcher that took the cab? Was that the pitcher that took the cab to the game against the Yankees? No. Who was the pitcher that took the cab?
I don't remember.
He took a cab, and the cab driver drove him off because he didn't know who he was. And then he pitched the shutout. I got to remember who that pitcher was.
Oh, no,
You remember the
yeah,
story,
no?
though?
I just can't remember the name.
Okay. Third question. Which player holds the records for most sacks in a single season? Question number 2 was... Oh, Tone got number 2. So it's 1-1 right now. 1-1 right now. Third question. Which player holds the record for most sacks in a single season? A, Reggie White. B, Michael Strahan. C, Bruce Smith. And D, Jason Taylor. And this sacks is
So it's either
22 and a half.
Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Michael Strahan, or
Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor on that edge. Ooh, Miami. He said he was gonna be some good.
These are good questions. Not easy. These are good questions, though.
These are good questions.
But I felt like with the multiple choice, kind
we needed the multiple choice.
Exactly.
We needed that.
I'm gonna go Reggie.
I'm gonna go Michael Strahan.
It's Michael Strahan.
Ooh.
Michael Strahan.
He had 22
and a half.
22 and a half. Yep.
Michael Strahan, 22 and a half.
Okay.
So the score is 2-1 to our guest.
You had to shout that out.
Yeah, just got to keep them updated. Got to keep the engineers
Cool.
updated. I'm sorry. This is my personal favorite topic. We don't get to touch it. I want you to come back during this season, though.
Okay.
Which player is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA basketball history?
Okay.
College basketball is a very important one.
I can
for me.
tell.
Christian Laettner, the man at LSU. Chris Jackson. I'm going to call him Chris Jackson. Mama call him Jackson. I'm going to call him Jackson.
All right.
Jimmer Fredette. Pete Maravich. Another LSU legend.
Pistol Pete.
Mo, that was your answer?
No, I was just throwing a nickname out there. Ooh.
I feel like you know this one. You kind of sitting confident like you know this one.
Nah, I'm listening to names again. I need them again.
You need a game?
Yeah.
Christian Laettner.
Okay.
Chris Action Jackson.
Okay.
Jimmer Fredette. And Pete Maravich.
I'm gonna go Jimmer.
Jimmer. And it was Pete Maravich.
Jimmer.
Jimmer.
Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson.
Christian Laettner.
I'll go Pistol.
Pistol was correct. Pistol
Nah,
scored
that
almost
Pistol.
3,000 points.
And you know, I was gonna roll with Pistol, but then at the last second, I was like, let me go with Jimmer.
Pistol.
I think Pistol got 3,000 points in college.
A lot of people don't talk about
He
Pistol.
only played his last 3 years. Like you couldn't play varsity your freshman year in college. So he only played his sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah.
He averaged 40.
A little coaching tidbit. So it's tied up 2-2. You good? Who is the only coach to win an NBA championship and an NCAA championship?
NBA championship. Oh, go ahead.
And this is A, Larry Brown, B, Pat Riley, C, Rick Pitino, D, John Calipari.
As a coach in college, or as a
one as a coach and won an NBA only coach to win an NBA championship and NCAA championship. There's only been one.
I think I know. Larry Brown.
What is it again? What's the four?
Larry Brown, Pat Riley, Rick Pitino, and John Calipari.
Pat Riley was a player when he played for Kentucky. Nah, he didn't do it as a coach. Larry Brown is the only person I could think, but he coached at. Was it? Essen.
It was neither.
Neither?
Neither. I'll correct him when it's over. But it was neither. He didn't coach at neither one of those schools.
The only reason I'm doing Calipari, no. Because he was in. And what was it, Pitino? Mm-hmm. Pitino was an assistant.
No, he was a Knicks head coach, and he was a Celtic head coach as well.
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown is correct. That's
Not
somebody.
3.
Larry Brown was Kansas.
Kansas. Yep. It was Kansas.
Danny Manning era.
Yep.
So it's 3-3 on that one. Tied it up 3-3. So we both got it 3-3. Question number 6. Who was the all-time leader in strikeouts?
All-time leader in
Talking about
strikeouts.
pitching?
Yeah, pitching.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I was wondering.
Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Atlanta guy Greg Maddux, Nolan Ryan.
I'm going to go Roger Clemens.
I was going to go there too.
So
But
you got one Roger Clemens.
I don't know if I want to agree with B-Dog.
You did last question.
I know, unfortunately. I just feel that Clemens passed Nolan Ryan. You know, listen, I'm here. I'm going to go Nolan Ryan.
It's Nolan Ryan.
Look at that.
Tone took the lead.
Yeah, man. Be a man of your conviction.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stand
Appreciate
on
Took the lead. Tone,
Thank you. Appreciate
come on,
it.
B. I need you to win.
Listen, what happened?
I need to
Listen,
win.
guests don't come on the show and just beat me.
I just
All
want
right?
to win.
That's what we're not going to do.
Who is the all-time leader in Tone is up 4-3. Who is the leader in all-time interceptions thrown?
Interceptions thrown.
Interceptions thrown.
Okay, go ahead.
Peyton Manning, Brett Favre. I had to put him on the list. I hate it though. Drew Brees.
Oh, Drew Brees.
Yeah. And Dan Marino.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Y'all both got it wrong. It's Peyton Manning.
Wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do
He
remember.
lost the record when he got to Denver.
Wow.
Well, you know, his first year as a starter, he threw like 20 picks.
It was like
and
23.
6 of them went for touchdowns. He led the league in pick sixes his rookie
His rookie year. I remember that.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
I was too confident. That's what happened.
Now this is a tough one. This is probably gonna be the hardest one. Who has hit the most triples in MLB history?
The most triples.
Ted Williams, Ricky Henderson, Tony Gwynn, or Sam Crawford back in the day.
They had to have wheels.
Yeah, but I think it's tough because you would think it's obvious.
That's why I kind of put the question in there.
And no, I wouldn't put Ricky Henderson. I know he probably had the
That
most
would be
steals.
the obvious answer.
But I would put him in more steals.
Give me the options again.
Ted Williams,
Okay.
Ricky Henderson,
Okay.
Tony Gwynn,
Okay.
and Sam Crawford.
Ted Williams. I'm going Ted Williams.
You going Ted Williams?
Yeah.
Let me go Ted too.
Y'all both got it wrong. You changed the answer. It was Sam Crawford. Why would I put Sam Crawford? Who in the world is Sam Crawford?
You can always put him in there to throw him
I
off.
don't know who that was.
You still up 4-3.
4-3. Last two questions. I have a tiebreaker just in case. Don't worry. That one is not going to be multiple choice though.
Okay.
Who was the first player to get drafted out of high school to the NBA? Can you see my list?
No.
He ain't gonna tell you. Yeah.
I don't need. Well, let me try. I know this answer. I don't need.
A. Moses Malone.
Matter of fact, can I answer it before? Matter of fact, go ahead.
It's A. Moses Malone. B. Al Jefferson. C. Kwame Brown. D. Kevin Garnett.
Moses Malone.
Moses. Everybody knows Moses.
Okay.
5-4.
5-4. Last one. I need you to get this tied up. The all-time rusher in NCAA/FBS history. And this is bowl games included.
Okay.
You need me to repeat the question for you?
One more time.
All-time rushing leader in NCAA/FBS history.
I think I know this answer.
Is it Donnell Pumphrey?
I hate him. You just want to add.
Ron Dane? Ricky Williams? Tony Dorsett?
Well, the person I was thinking is not on the list. So
I'm gonna go with Ron Dane.
Ron Dane. He was a beast, but what was the other three?
Donnell Pumphrey?
Donnell Pumphrey.
Ricky Williams?
Ricky.
Tony Dorsett?
All-time leading Russian FBS.
I'm not feeling good about this question.
I go Tony Dorsett.
Tony Dorsett? Who you got?
I had Ron Dane.
You got Ron Dane? Donnell Pumphrey.
And you know I was gonna say that because he just put this name out of nowhere.
Come on, man. I got to tie this thing up.
So that was the last one, but I feel like we need to give our guests a chance.
Why?
Hey, no, that was a heck of a battle, though.
Give him a chance.
So there's
Where?
3 players. This is for 2 points.
Oh, now it's for 2 points.
Get it right. Get it right.
Oh.
And you win anyway.
Oh.
There were 3 players in NBA history
Okay.
to sweep the MVPs in terms of All-Star Game, regular season, and finals.
All-Star Game.
MVP and finals. Now, that is Willis Reed, Michael Jordan, who was the third one?
Willis Reed, Michael
So
Jordan.
sweet. What is it?
MVPs.
MVP.
And All-Star Game,
and the finals.
finals,
All-Star
and
Game.
regular season in the same season. Excuse me, the same season.
All-Star Game MVP, regular season MVP, and Finals MVP.
In the same season.
So you got Michael Jordan
And Willis Reed are the
Willis
first
Reed.
2. Who was the third?
Who's the third?
And you said Michael Jordan, Willis Reed, and who's the third? Finals.
Jeez.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say this is somebody. I'm gonna give y'all a hint. This is a tough one because there's no multiple choice.
Okay.
It's somebody we talked about. We talked about this all night. Talked about this all night. Somebody popular we talked about all night. Why we talked about all night?
Talked about all night. Talked about all night.
All night.
No, it ain't no damn Charles Barkley either.
Well, we know that he didn't win it.
I feel it was a little shot there. I feel it was a little shot.
I'm just sipping my water.
We talked about him. We talked about a lot of players.
It's a tough one here.
You did good with this one. You did real good with this one.
MVP, regular season, All-Star Game MVP, and Finals MVP.
All in the same season.
All in the same season.
Because there's plenty of players who have all 3 awards. I think we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I got
regular season MVP.
Who you got, B-Dope?
I got to make sure that this person got all 3. I'm going to say... I'm leaning towards Dirk. I'm going to just throw it out there. Dirk.
I got Shaq.
Shaq.
Shaq, man. When you go... gonna come on my show.
And you know what? Let's keep this in between us. I don't need this to get back to the big fella. And you know the crazy part about it is I overthought it, and I didn't really.
I tried to help.
But see, when you said somebody we have been talking about, we had talked about so many, and that one just didn't.
But Shaq
come
kept
to mind.
coming up. Shaq came up almost every block.
It did, yeah. You're right.
I appreciate it. That was a good one. That was a good battle player.
Brother, we appreciate having you.
This was fun.
This was a blast.
This was fun.
This was a blast.
Before we leave, can we just do our picks of the week real quick?
Oh yeah, we got picks of the week.
We could run that in real quick.
I have no problem with picks of the week with my luck.
All right, here we go. Definitely want your input too. First game up on the docket: Vikings at Packers. We were speaking about it.
I don't bet against Aaron Rodgers.
At home.
I don't bet against him, but I am.
Oh,
Can't say you don't do something and then you do it.
Ooh.
That's right. I had to keep y'all. I hate doing it, but that Vikings defense is something else. And
Absolutely.
I don't know how healthy Aaron Rodgers is, so I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
It's actually a good point.
That means you switching?
Yeah.
You going?
I don't bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you go.
It's hard to bet against a man that ain't playing though. That technically don't count because he ain't gonna play.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's playing.
If he said he was gonna play.
Go with the Vikings.
If he plays, I'm going with the Packers. All bets is off if he does not play.
And because I don't like going against.
I got the Packers. I definitely got the Packers.
That's tough. That's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Panthers at Falcons.
I'm going with the Falcons.
The Falcons are without Keanu O'Neal and Deion.
They
Jones.
both out?
Yeah, Deion Jones is on IR. Keanu O'Neal's out for the season.
Now, usually I win.
Because he got hurt twice.
Yeah.
They usually win their
Well, he
last
tore a knee
two,
up.
right?
Tore the knee up.
Who was that?
Keanu O'Neal?
Yeah, ACL.
Ooh, that's tough.
And then Deion Jones is on IR with a foot. So I'm going to go.
I'm going to go with the Panthers now.
Oh, now you won't go.
Because they're home, I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think they're a different team on their turf.
They are, and they've won their last three
At home?
against the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons on their turf.
I feel like Deion Jones is arguably the best middle linebacker in football right now.
Oh, Luke Kuechly retired?
Arguably. Luke Kuechly. Yeah, all right, my bad. Second best.
Oh,
my
okay.
bad. Second best.
I mean, you on a roll with saying wrong things today.
I wasn't wrong. Somebody else had a caller had the same list or a similar list.
And it's in the genes, so you both could be wrong.
All right, whatever. Okay. So who you got? The Falcons?
No, I got the Panthers.
Okay.
Definitely got the Panthers. Oh, you want my score? I usually say
don't
my
care.
score.
You only know three
I usually
numbers,
say my
Sesame
scores.
Street.
But, the Vikings-Packers game, I got Packers 24, Vikings 23. And Panthers, I got Panthers 20, Falcons 17.
Okay.
Patriots at Jaguars.
Score right. Ooh.
Patriots.
Jacksonville.
I got Jacksonville.
Okay.
Now look at this.
I do. Giants at Cowboys.
Giants. Bye. Giants. Bye. Damn.
Giants, whatever. Somebody got to win that game. Somebody got to win that
Giants
game.
gotta get it.
Yo, B-Dog, I appreciate you coming, man. It was been a pleasure.
Any last words before we let you go, sir?
No, I appreciate y'all for having me here. I like what y'all have going on here. It was fun just to sit and kick it and talk with the fellas.
Absolutely.
Like I said, what we need to keep between us is what we need to keep between
Nah, you
us.
think the same for me.
You know,
that whole, I didn't think about the big fella. But
I'm just saying that we might put some things on Instagram.
Well, go ahead,
They tag some people.
Okay. I mean, brother slip up every now and then when it comes to one of his favorite players and person he looked up to, but it's good.
Yo, I understand, and I appreciate it. Again,
Definitely.
This has been a great show, season 2, episode 2. I'm Tone Taylor.
And I'm Chris Harris.
I'm B-Dog.
And we're in Topics is out.
Ooh, that was fun.
They still got us on air, so I'm gonna keep talking right now.
Oh, they got us on air still? She was rushing us and yelling at us. She still got us on air.
Look, they gotta show it. Listen.